Hey, it's your main man, E Vapors, back with another live on Car Talk TV. Of course, with the co-host, man, Car Show Rail. You know how we do. Car Show Rail, E Vapors, man. We are Car Talk TV, man. And today, we got none other than the legendary, man. Y'all know him, man. Y'all done seen this brother around, and he done a lot of things y'all never even know about. And we talking about none other than New York, in your city, man. Got one of the dopest podcasts that you could ever be a part of, man. So I'm not gonna waste a whole lot of time, man. I'm gonna get him tapped in here. All right, let's go. Let's get him tapped in. Make sure I'm tapping the right name. But yeah, New York, in your city, man, it's going down. Yes, sir. We're gonna talk cars. We're gonna talk motivation. We're gonna talk money. Definitely gotta talk about that podcast. There you go.
What is up? What is up?
What's going on, man? Hey, let me properly welcome you to Car Talk TV, man. Myself, E Vapors, and Car Show Red. We want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, man, to be with us here on Car Talk TV, man. So welcome aboard, New York, in your city.
I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. I'm not using no headphones or anything today, but it's nice and quiet down here in my studio today. I'm not editing anything right now, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it without the headphones. So everybody can get the rawness, period.
Yeah. In case y'all aren't familiar with New York in your city, man, he has a dope podcast, and when I tell you, he does all the dope studio graphics and communicating with the audience, man. I think it's dope, man. It's really crazy how you're doing what you're doing, and you're touching so many different people, man. Of course, male car enthusiasts, but what's really got my attention, man, you've had a lot of female car enthusiasts, man, that you've introduced to myself and many other people, man. If you don't mind, let's start right there, man. What put you way out in the future to tap into that untapped market, in my opinion?
Well, for a lot of people that don't know, I have all sisters, believe it or not. I got a stepbrother, but I got all sisters. My mother passed when I was young. I was mostly raised by my sisters, period. And also my dad as well, rest in heaven to my pops. And the thing about it is, I've been going to car shows for years. When I say years, since the 90s. And the crazy thing about it is, hold up, there we go. Crazy thing about it is, when I would go to these car shows, go see how women would get treated. And some women would pull up and be like, and they'd be like, yo, this dude's car right here, this ain't your whip. And these women's cars, and I'm like, yo, why are you getting treated like that? Right. So when I came up with this idea, I literally came up with the idea to do the podcast, and laying down one night, it was like 11, 12 o'clock at night. I said, I'm going to do YouTube, but I'm going to do something different, because I've helped a lot of people with their YouTube behind the scenes, especially this one gamer that I helped get 5 million subscribers. And I said, I'm going to do something different. A lot of people didn't know I was editing for them as well during that time. So I'm going to do something different. I said, you know what? I'm going to start interviewing folks that I like to watch, and I'm going to give the females an avenue to come on and tell their story, where people can really listen to them, listen to their grind, listen to how they basically got their vehicle and either fix it, or whether it's from the dunk community, which I literally came from. I started from that as well, from the dunk community, whether it's from the dunk community all the way to the Mopar community. And the Mopar community is heavy. I mean, it's huge, it's big, and a lot of people don't know it's a lot of women out here that's really doing it. So my thing was, I said, you know what? I'm going to give an avenue for them to do it. I'm going to develop a ladies' night. And it's not your original, traditional ladies' night. It's nothing like that. It's basically where ladies are coming on. They're talking about their vehicles, talking about car racing. They're talking about how they feel being in the culture, how they feel being in the industry of cars, how they feel being around car shows, how things can change to give them better market for them, period. And I've got hit with a lot of questions about that throughout my time of doing the podcast. I really started the podcast in January. I did came in July, but I basically took my time to get everything together. And I got everything together right in January. And my first car guest was Demonology. I was literally talking to Demonology one day. Shout out to Demonology. I know he's been on here as well. And the thing about it is, it was like, I was talking to him about what I was getting ready to do, because me and him known each other for a minute. And he was like, yo, I just signing this up with Dunkmaster to do this YouTuber's call. I said, yo, come on the show, let's announce it. I'll bring you on. I'm going to start it right there and then bring you on and announce it. Brought him on, didn't tell nobody, it was a surprise guest. He came on, everybody was like, oh, shoot, that's Demonology. And he announced it right then and there on the show. We're doing the YouTubers call out. It's going to be in Dallas March 5th, 2020. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it basically started from there on. And the podcast, I knew it was going to take off, but I didn't know it was going to do like what it did. Because a lot of people know me, like I said, from the Dunk Game, from the G Bodies, from that. Because I've had them. I've had them all. Right now, I got a 1976 Deuce in the Quarter. That's one out of 6 old schools I have. And with me doing what the way I was doing, at first it was like I was just going to market that. But I said, no, I want to get everybody on. I want to get everybody on, get everybody on. And it took for Demonology being on and open up a whole nother avenue. So shout out to Demonology. When he came in to open up big doors, period. And then I started bringing people I already knew. Shout out to Memphis Mike. Shout out to B-Lo. Shout out to my dog, Chevy Boy. Shout out to TK's Garage. People that I already rocked with already. I started just bringing them on. And it opened up the doors for a lot of other people to come on, not just the ladies. It seemed like right now there's kind of a target for the ladies. You know, me having on, everybody's like, yo, we love watching because you bring the ladies on. You bring in the ladies on that we didn't even know that was out there. Yeah. That's what these people that I watch. I really, literally watch a lot of people. And now with me being so busy with the podcast and with dropping videos, with editing, I'll take a day. I'll take a whole day, evening, and binge watch everybody, usually a Friday. And I'll catch up with everybody. And basically, as I'm watching all that stuff, I'm hitting them up. Hey, I heard about you. I want you to come on. Heard about this person, heard about that person. Shout out to everybody coming in. I see more and more people coming in. What else? Shake It was another one that I brought on. A lot of people didn't know she out there really doing it. And I said, you know, I got to bring her on. Let her tell her story. She came on, and then she came on for a ladies' night. And it was really grown to the point where now I think it's going to go beyond. By next year, I think it's going to be close to about 50 to 100K subscribers. I really do.
Man, I absolutely believe that. And it's funny how, like I said, you had Don't Master on, you know, when you first started your podcast. And literally, when we first started doing Car Talk TV, I think not Don't Master, I believe Demonology was like the second person we had on. We had Will Motivation on first. And then we was able to have Demonology on, man. So the similarities are crazy, man. And I remember when I first started talking to you, man, and when I went on your show, I thought it was dope how you was letting everybody know, like, man, nobody's copying anybody, man. The world is big enough for all of us to have a positive place, man. And you have a deep background dealing with YouTube, and it's deeper than mine. I thought I had a deep background. My YouTube started in 2006. I didn't have I wasn't doing a channel. I just put up a couple of videos in 2006 before Google bought it. But I started really doing YouTube E-Vapors last September, which is literally, we're hitting a year at this point. Whatever you don't mind sharing about your YouTube infancy, the year and some of that, whatever you don't mind sharing, man. Because some people, some people don't understand why I call you a legend or why other people call you legend. I want them to get this part of it, because they're just starting to mess with YouTube now. Last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You know, some of our big and favorite YouTube stars started 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So give us your YouTube background.
Well, I've actually been messing with YouTube since 2005.
Hold on. No. What year did you say? You said 2015?
2005. A lot of people...
For the record, y'all, he said 2005. So in case y'all thought he's new to this, he's not. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not new. No, you good. And the crazy thing about it is, while I was in, a lot of people don't know, I'm in IT as well. While I was in IT school, I did a contract for Google, and I got to meet the two guys that started. And Google was in the process of buying it. This was in 2008, 2009, when they was still working out trying to buy it. I met them, chopped it up with them. I also met the lady who garage they started in. And they was like, we're going to make her president CEO. I was standing right there meeting them during this whole time, and they were at a spot in Google in Atlanta, because I lived in Atlanta at the time. And they told me how big it was going to get. And literally, I told them, I said, hey, I know this guy that's a gamer, and he streams through. It was a whole nother server. They was like, yo, he should do this and do that to us. So the guy, all he knew how to play was games. That's it. I said, dude, I'll set it up for you, and I'll get you through. And I got him on there, and it was other people starting to do it, but they wasn't doing like him. He started out playing Halo, Grand Theft Auto, and all the other games, and showing you different stuff in between, different secrets. And me being, I like playing Halo. We would play against one another, and we would literally broadcast that through YouTube. And back then, it was in like 360. Back then, it wasn't even in. It was 720 wasn't even out then at the time.
Right.
And I was helping him do that, and he was like, "Man, you should start a channel." I said, "Nah, I'll start a channel with this." And I started a channel then, actually, maybe a year after that. And what I did was I was filming stuff and sending it to my brother. I was like, "It's the only way I can send it to him. I'll send him the link." And that's all I was using it for. I was posting it on there, posting it on there. And then one day I just happened to look, like, why am I getting this email saying a partnership? And this was in 2010. I was like, what is this? And I looked at it, and I talked to a buddy of mine that by this time I was doing IT school. He ended up taking a full job at Google, and he moved to Silicon Valley. He moved there to go work for them. And he was telling me, like, yo, you need to take it, man. They'll pay you to do this, do that. I was like, all right, man. I clicked on it, whatever. And I saw that picture right there. And as I started it, and no, that's not my bike. That's not my bike. I know people want to ask, is that your? No, that's not my bike. I have a Harley almost like that, but that one ain't it. And the craziest thing is people have asked and asked and asked, like, how can I get started on YouTube? How can I get this going? Because once they found out my background and found out that I helped somebody else get to, like, I remember at the time, 500,000 subscribers was unheard of. And he had that. He had that easy. And all I was doing was setting up. We was using the POS at the time, and it was nothing like what it is now. Like how you see my background, I can put stuff in the background. We would just basically have the TV as the background, and he'll be on there playing. Every now and then I would get on there, and it to the point where EA Sports invited him, and he ended up doing the commercial. If you look back in 2011, 12, 13, 14, EA Sports and for Madden, the guy with the curly hair that's playing the video game is him.
Wow.
And they caught a piece of me in it. Like, they caught a piece of me in it. And it was like, yeah, sit down. And I was just kind of the hype man for him. Because I was like, I'm behind the scenes. I don't want to be on the scene for this. This ain't me. I'm behind the scenes person. It's what I do. And then finally, fast forward to basically July of last year, it was like, you know what? I see something missing in this culture. Let me get out here and just do it. Let me get out here and do it. A lot of people know me from it. A lot of people heard of me. Some have, some didn't. And I just went on ahead full force and did it.
Yeah, man. I think that's dope, man. As soon as you say 2005 and the word YouTube, that's instant credibility. It's instant. Oh wow, you've been doing it that long. It's instant. Okay, I'm understanding a little bit more that this guy in New York in your city is not a come fly by night. He did not just start yesterday, man. 2005 is a long time, and the fact that you have actually met the individuals that put YouTube together. Think about how many people. Think about how many people take pride in being a professional YouTuber. Those people, all those people you've touched, everybody that's on YouTube right now, whether they know it or not, whether they know your name or not, you've actually touched them because of what you did back in 05 and the relationships you forged back then, the gamer that you spoke of, you know, putting him on. All those things grow the platform. And while we're talking about YouTube, man, I want you to just tell us about the podcast you have, man. I know you talked about, I was asking about the ladies, you know, and how you really are growing that segment, man. Tell us more about the podcast.
Okay. Well, New York Union City podcast, basically it's about this. It started out mostly about cars and about people out here that are YouTubers, and some of them are not YouTube. Some of them are just on IG. Some of them ain't even on none of that. But it's people that I've watched over the years and people I hear about, upcoming people. I'm like, y'all want you to come on the show, talk about what you're doing. And we'll start talking about their bills, whether it's the car game, the dump game, the G-body game, the Corvette lane, whatever they're in. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the mods they did, the experiences they have, people they met along the way. And also, recently, because it's became one of the biggest topics right now, is credit. Because a lot of people are buying some of these cars, and they realize, like, yo, I don't have good enough credit to get it. I may have the money to put down, but they're trying to rake me over the head for this interest rate. So I went to talking about that, like, yeah, you need credit. You need to have decent credit to get a car. Like a lot of things have changed now than what it was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The rates have dropped, and a lot of things. As long as you have at least a 630 credit score, you can get a decent rate now. And before it wasn't like that. Before you had to have at least 720 or 700 and up to get a decent credit score. But now, because of I should say the plethora of cars right now that are produced, there's a lot of them out there and they're trying to move. And
Mm-hmm.
some people know me from the flipping car game, from flipping cars and cold parts and stuff like that, and brokering deals, help people get decent cars and get decent rates because of people I met along the way. And then some other people know me from my security days with doing it for a lot of famous people. And that's what had really humbled me, period, from doing those days, because I've worked for a lot of people that in the industry.
Yeah, I think, and you know, we've talked before, man, and we've talked about some of the different individuals you work with, man. You know, you can say names, or you don't have to say names, man. But just the fact that you've been around, when we say the industry, you know, major players, I don't care if we call it Hollywood or the music industry or whatever, being around those type of people on the behind the scenes level, what has that given you or taught you that you might not have gotten had you not worked with that segment?
Man, I could start with so many things. Let me put it this way. It also taught me this: everything that's glitter is not gold. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people that you may think are so famous, I can't, you know, get in contact when I can't talk. If I see them, I'm nervous. A lot of them are really cool people out here. They're really cool people out here. I mean, you have some people that, you know, so far up, they don't want to be bothered because they get, how can I put it? Imagine yourself as being famous. I tell people this all the time. Imagine yourself being famous and you got all these people coming at you. After a while, you start seeing some of the same people and you not knowing if this person's genuine, this person is not. So when you see somebody famous and they're not, you know, really doing a whole conversation like, damn, but why they ain't really this? Or you put them up on a certain pedestal, or you think them a certain way and you find out they're a different way. Majority of the time is because of what they've been through that have changed them around. And a lot of people don't understand it. When you get to see the other side of it, be on that other side, you realize like, how, you know, every time I step out this door, there's a camera in my face. It's somebody I got to watch out that might be trying to hurt me or my family. Or it may be somebody, you know, that wants what I have, you know, once they get up on top. Because that on top is rough. I mean, the bottom is too, but once you get on top, it's actually rough. To pitch me in deep down. It's actually rough. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, you know, I learned a lot during that experience from when I worked for Mid-State all the way to Blue Boy / Spartan during those days, because I can name those companies. And I got a chance to see the world. Believe it or not, I got a chance to really see the world. You think of mostly travel, and I got to travel to a lot of places. I got to be, when MTV used to do spring break, a lot of people thought that was maybe a few days. That was actually 2 weeks. I was in Cancun for 2 weeks, twice, filming that. I got a chance to be in a lot of music videos, doing footage of it. The Get Low video, that was from a club that I actually did security for part-time, majority of the time, which was Body Tap. It was actually a real strip club. It had the real barbershop and everything. The movie Get Out the Way video with Ludacris, 36 Mafia. I was there for that whole shoot.
Wow.
So I was doing Ludacris doing that shoot. And 36 Mafia. I did a lot of stuff for them, Gangsta Boo, and a few other people during that time. And a lot of music videos, believe it or not, was filmed in Atlanta and in LA. You know, I mean, you've seen the ones filmed in LA, but a lot of them was filmed in Atlanta behind the scenes. A lot of people didn't know about. I did a lot of stuff for Jordan Towers TV. Shout out to him. He was hiring the same security company, and he liked me, so he was always requesting me. I was getting a lot of requests from him, Too Short, E40, a few other people. Oh, we need that dude in New York. And yes, I was going by New York at that time too.
Uh-huh.
And I got to work a lot of that. What up, really, Rose? I see. I got to work a lot of that scene and see a lot of different people. And the only one question a lot of people used to ask me, are these people really that tall? Like I was running during that time. I was figuring out a lot of people were really that tall. Like I hate to bring up any names, but I remember telling people like, yo, I'm taller than R. Kelly. Ain't no way. I'm taller than Usher. Ain't no way.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
Bro, I've seen them in person. Okay, I'm 6 feet. I mean, that's not super tall. It's regular tall, if you ask me. But I was looking down at Usher. I met Aaron Hall. I'm looking down at Aaron Hall. And Teddy Riley.
I've actually played basketball with Aaron Hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Aaron Hall was doing his whole thing. That's how you do his workouts. He was like, yo, dude over there, yo, New York. I looked around like, yo, come over and play ball with me. And I was like, dude, I'm in a whole security uniform, but I played ball with him. He just wanted somebody to play with him. Like Aaron Hall was really cool. He was really cool. It was him. I never forget. It was him, Brian McKnight, this dude named Tracy that did producing. A few others. We was playing a 3-on-3. Which was crazy. It was legendary. And I think if YouTube and all that was out back then, this is 2000, 2001. And think of all that was going on during that time, how much footage I probably could have had. I mean, I did have a book at one point. I was taking Polaroids with it here and there, but the majority of the time I was working. I wasn't really trying to watch it. And the craziest thing is that photo from them playing made it to Vibe magazine, Right On magazine, a few others, and I was in it. I was guarding Aaron Hall, like literally guarding him. I'm like, dude, I ain't played ball in years, a couple of years, but okay, at the time, I said, I ain't playing in a couple of years, but let's get it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy, man. I was actually stationed in Virginia Beach at the time. I want to say it was probably around 2000-ish, 2001, 2002, and I would see Aaron Hall, Teddy Riley, Missy, Magoo, Genuine.
They from that area.
Yeah,
I see them.
Yeah, they from 757, man. So I remember going back to the 90s, they hadn't made it yet. And they would be on local radio, but you would see them all the time, like at the mall, at the 7-Eleven, at any local event. They never were like separate. They were always amongst the people, real tight folk, man. And I say that to say, that's the vibe that I've always gotten from you from day one, man. You just seem like a real down to earth person, but you met and connected with so many people that the average person to be honest, they would change or become arrogant or not really communicate with folk, man. What's one thing, man, that keeps you grounded, that you utilize in your day-to-day life, man?
One thing that keeps me grounded, believe it or not, is just having great folks around. And not only that, being through what I went through, losing people early, it kept me grounded, period. I mean, one thing my dad used to tell me, he used to say this. He was like, yo, because my dad grew up in a time where segregation was a crazy thing. I mean, he graduated high school in 62 and moved to New York, and the rest was history after that, and then moved back down south once things cooled down, once he retired. So when he would tell me stories and people would tell me stories that was in that generation, like, we weren't able to do that. Like, believe it or not, to this day, you can think that going to go get a T-bone steak, that was my dad's favorite cut steak. That was a luxury back then, to go get that. Basically go have it. Like, yeah, they had beef, but to go get that, to have a whole steak, dinner, potatoes, whatever, he was like, yo, this is a luxury, and now you can go anywhere and go get it. This is a luxury being able to go here. This is a luxury being able to go there. And now you able to do all that. What up, KP? I see you in the building. It was a luxury to go do that. So when he was basically drilled me with that, when I was a little kid, I was like, I don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear. But as I got older, I got to appreciate that. Like, wow, we out here as a people, and I don't mean just black, I mean people, period. We out here being able to do things that somehow folks wasn't able to do. Wasn't able to do it all. Travel. I remember the first time I went overseas, I was in the UK doing security for Aerosmith. I was doing for Aerosmith, Pearl Jam.
Hold on for a second. You said it. You talking about it was a cover band?
Yeah, it was a whole big rock festival.
No, it was actually Aerosmith or Aerosmith, a cover band.
No, wasn't a cover band. Steven Tyler was there.
I had to be clear. I wanted people to know that you wasn't talking about a cover band that performed their songs.
It was really them. It was them. Poison. Bret Michaels was there. Pearl Jam. It was a few other groups. It was like 6-7 groups, and I'm doing security for them, taking them back and forth to the stage. I sat there for a minute. This dude was like, because I had my folks working. He was like, "Yo, New York, you all right? Cause you kind of dazing off." I said, "Dude, you don't understand." I said, "You don't understand." Real quick, you really don't understand this. Basically, our folks couldn't do this. I said, "I'm standing right here with a bunch of people. And I'm watching over 100,000 people out there. I know it's way more than that out here in this audience. I mean, it was basically like, how can I put it? It was like Woodstock, 69.
Yeah.
And I was like, we out here, we traveling. We going to these places. And after this, we're going to Berlin after this to go for the next festival, which is the next weekend. We out here doing this, and my dad ain't never been over here. My dad ain't never get to see any of this. I said, I know your grandparents probably ain't never seen none of this. I know your parents young. That's what I was telling the dude at the time. He was like, "You right." I said, think about that for a split minute. That just popped in my head. I'm standing here looking. We're here in a whole nother country being treated right. And it's some folks that ain't never been here.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, KP, you're right. A lot of ancestors ain't never been here, couldn't afford it, couldn't fathom the moment of coming here. But we just got off a 17.5-hour flight straight from Atlanta to here to come here and vibe with folks. And yeah, we working, but we getting to see things that people ain't seen. We getting to see how other cultures live. Because we will always get somewhere like 4 or 5 days early to go check out the exits, check out the layout, go chill, go sightseeing and do whatever. And then after that, it's straight work. And we working. But to see that and to go to a lot of places, you know, to me, a lot of my family members, the only way you was going somewhere like that is you was in the military. That's it. But to not be in that was it. That was the only place you got to go. But to go to all these places and see different things, and not even just overseas, even in the U.S., to go to different places. Like when I was on the Sorry Miss Jackson tour with Outkast in 2001, to go on that tour and see
With who?
Outkast.
You gotta
Sorry Miss
slow
Jackson
down
tour.
when I know you try to escape. I'm not gonna let you escape.
Okay, let me slow down. Yes, I was on the tour with Outkast for the Sorry Miss Jackson tour. I was on that from the end of 2000 to 2001. I was on that tour. And on that tour, we got to go from different cities and see, like, wow, man. I remember it was a guy that was standing next to me. He said, I can't believe black people in Montana. I said, man, black folks everywhere. You know, he just couldn't believe that. And people were coming everywhere from every sort of life. I remember we was in Canada. And we was in Ontario, Canada. And then we did Toronto. And then we did, oh, my God, I can't remember I can't remember where we was at, somewhere in Canada. It looked like in the middle of nowhere because the streets were dead early that morning we got there. The streets was dead. But that night, everybody was at this concert. Everybody was there. And like I'm not trying to get all the way off topic, but that humbles me, period, to be able to go to these places that at one point in the 50s and 60s, we weren't even allowed in. And for us to go in, and I'm talking about black people weren't allowed to go to. I'm going to say that. And to be able to be there and be to all these places, that will humble me, period. And to go back and share those stories with people that I knew that were either couldn't travel because they didn't have a passport, or I'm just going to be honest, they were felons and couldn't go nowhere. So being they couldn't, and I'm telling these stories and showing them pictures like, yo, look, it's a whole different world outside of New York. It's a different world outside of Atlanta. It's a different world outside of here. It's a different world outside of L.A. So I remember when I was in L.A. talking with my cousin living in L.A., and I was telling him, like, it was a different world out here. You need to get out and travel. But, man, you know, soon I'm able to do this, I'm going to do that. And a lot of people lived that through me. They lived that through me going to that because they was excited to see when I would come back, like, yo, where'd you go? Yo, what'd you see? What event you went to? You know, who you met?
Yeah.
You know, like I got to meet one of the people I really got to meet, and they call him the Godfather, period. They did a documentary on YouTube. I got to meet him several times, but I remember the first time I met him, he was telling me so much stuff that was going on. He was telling me if it wasn't for me, this person wouldn't have got this deal. Wasn't me, this person would have got that deal. And I advise anybody, go to your Netflix and go look it up. It's called The Godfather of the Music Industry. I think that's what the documentary is called. And it's a black guy that talks about everything. I got a chance to meet him during that time. And shed a lot of light. Scarface was another one that shed a lot of light about a lot of things out here. And so many other people. Trick Daddy, when I met him, well, Trick Daddy had me laughing.
Oh, but man, I can imagine Trick Daddy got that personality, bro. He got to be just all the way live, man.
This man brought us to his house and cooked for us. We doing an event, slip and slide. Trick Daddy brought us to his house and cooked. I was like, yo, this man can throw down. Yo, the comforters would die for. You know, I'm telling this man could really throw down cooking. And I remember we was telling like, yo, you need a restaurant. I mean, fast forward now he got one. But people didn't know that he really could cook his ass off. Like, he really could cook. Like, yo. And I remember during that time at his house, he was like, yo, I got some people that I'm bringing out. And I remember Plies. I remember seeing this little short dude. No, he's like, yo, I'm Plies. I'm like, okay. All right, but he was real cool.
What year was this when you think he brought Plies out?
Man, this was in 2000. I want to say 3 or 4.
Oh, so that's
Four-ish.
like early Plies.
Yeah, and I remember doing the thing for Slip and Slide, that whole thing, and I can talk about it now
Yeah.
because I've actually ran into the person and told him about that, and he was like, "Yeah, you can always talk about whenever." I remember Trina was on stage, and this dude was standing beside me, big dude, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm with Trina doing this." We all think he's just doing security for Trina, but then he went out there and rapped and came back off. It was like, "Yo, man, you can really spit," not knowing that was Rick Ross.
No way. I don't know. What year was this?
Same time. This was around the same time. And I was like, yo, this dude can really flow, yo. And to me, because I'm a big Notorious Big fan, it reminded me of that. And I was like, yo, this dude really can spit. He can do this. And we sitting up here chopping up with him the whole time. And after that, and then fast forward years later, I mean, you see where he's at now.
Yeah, that you talking about that time frame. That wasn't Ross. That was the up and coming Ross. That wasn't who we know him to be now with the big old mansions and cars and restaurants and all that stuff, man. That's again, that goes back to why a lot of us, man, we call you legend, man, because of the people that you've crossed their paths, man. You've met them, and you're still, like you just said, you're humble with it, man. But to move it over to the car lane, man, I could stay on this music all day because I love music history. I love behind the scenes stories, the public ones. I really love the private ones that we can talk about off air. But
yeah, because it's something I would never talk about on here at all.
Right, no doubt. What's one of your first cars, and what's a car that you're enjoying now?
Oh my God.
One of your first ones.
My very first car, believe it or not, I was 13 years old. I saved up the money, had just moved down south good at the time. I was like, yo, I got to get something. And being a lot of people don't know, my family, we all come from a car background. We already had a shop. We had everything. It was an old lady that stayed on the other side of me. She had a 1978 Buick LeSabre that she bought brand new, unhurt. The motor went out. It was about to go out in it. Well, she thought it was about to go out. It had a V6 in it. I said, ma'am, how much you want for the car? She said, you reckon it's worth $400? I gave her $400 for that car. Worked my ass off to get the $400 at the time, the legit way. And like I said, I was 13. Got the car, drove it around. Dad looked at it and was like, okay, son, I see you. I said, I'm building this up because at the time when you live down south, 15, you can get your license. It's a restricted license. Yeah. That's what prompted me to move down south. That was a big thing right there. Like, yo, I can get my license on 15. I ain't got to wait till I'm 17.
Yeah.
So got the car, snatched the engine out of it. And I remember driving that car and the windows would not roll down. She didn't tell me that the windows wouldn't roll down. It's 101 degrees that day with the heat index like hell. And lucky I had to go that far. I stopped at every breathe, close the door, and just keep driving. I got all the way home. Then I looked at the car. I said, yo, I'm going to really do this car. So by the time I turn 15, it's ready. Well, by the time I turned 14, I had already dropped the 350 in it. It was bored over, 30 over. I did all the stuff to it, put AC in it, had everything. And I took it back to the lady so she could see it. The lady was like, that is not my car. And I had a set of 17s on it. Yeah. 14 years old with a set of 17s. Set of 17s on it. They were a set of 17, I think, Hammers or something like that.
Yeah, you was doing it, though.
Yeah. So I literally drove that car for a while. A guy offered me an unbeatable deal for it. Told them how I remember I had, because by this time now, fast forward, I'm 15 years old with 4 cars. And yeah, I had a Cutlass. I had an 81 Cutlass. I had an 87 Cutlass Saloon. I had both of those, and I had a 4-door Cutlass. Man, I had a lot of cars during that time. But I was getting all those cars. I was in the G-Body game heavy. And then I remember I had that. My favorite one was my 86 Regal Limited. That got stolen from me that I never recovered. I'll never forget I was in Riverdale. No, I was in Clayton County when that got stolen. Never recovered, and I was like, man, I would always want to get one back. Had several chances to get one, and it's never happened, but I am eyeing one now that I'm thinking about doing. Yeah, Hammers, 80s, 90s. Yeah, it was the 90s, so yeah, the Hammers were in. And the car I'm rocking now, I mean, yeah, I got Escalade that I carry my kids in, and I do a lot of stuff and hit the road, and I call it the media vehicle because I can use it for internet and everything else, and hook things up in, and do my podcast portably, in which I have something soon coming to the podcast. I'm just going to hint that it's something big for doing my tour for next year, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But my old school that I have fixed up now is my 76 deuce and a quarter. It's white. A lot of people that rock me have seen it. And as I said, that's 1 out of 6. I got several other old schools that I'm working on as well. But with this whole pandemic going on, it slowed everything down. It really slowed me down, period. But out of the most vehicle that I love the most is my Harley. I ride my Harley everywhere.
Bro, I was gonna ask you that, man, because it seems like if you did 10 lives on IG, 8 of them you with the bike crew doing something with the bike. So it's like generally when I tune into your IG live, you're doing something with the bike, or you out with the boys on the bike, man. So are you in with a local club? Y'all ride out a lot? What's your bike life like right now?
The bike life here, for those that know, I'm in KC, Kansas City. Yeah, go Chiefs. I'm out here, and the bike life is pretty huge. It is. It's pretty huge. There's a lot of bikes out here. It's a lot of ladies ride, too.
Oh, wow.
I love to see that. There's a couple of them I'm bringing on the channel. I was actually supposed to meet all up with them and do one big thing, but I think we're going to kind of split it up. They'll be on the channel coming here soon. Because I like people to know it's not just a man's game out here. There's ladies out here rolling, too.
Right.
And, they got some nice bikes. Way nicer than mine, to the point I just want to put mine up. I just like, your bike cool. I was like, y'all done put some money in these bikes. And they got them really done up. Like, this one lady's husband is all pink. No, it's pink stripes, and it's purple with rhinestones all over it. Custom. Oh, this is crazy. Air ride, everything. Like, she's really out there really doing it. And the scene out here, like I said, the scene out here is real big. I hang with a lot of people all over between here, St. Louis, Chicago. Like, a lot of people got to see the videos I dropped. I literally rode my bike Chicago and back. That was a quick 1,180 miles round trip. They were like, I can't believe you rode that. I was like, yeah, easy ride. Nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah.
Doing that ride. But I've been in the bike game literally since I was a teenager. Been in it, period. Been part of 2 clubs, part of the 2nd club now. Been part of for at least about, I can't believe it's going on 7 years I've been part of. And I really try to put them out there and show the life of when we ride and how we go and places we go and things we do and things we do for the community. Well, now you can't do so much for the community right now because of this whole epidemic, but I literally try to show people that it's not like the Son of Anarchy, because people think, oh, it's like
Yeah,
I get that all the time. Like literally all the time, they'll see me roll in and they'll just look at me and look, and I'm like, I'm a regular person. I was like, oh, okay. And then they'll see me outside and be like, man, you look different when you have your bike stuff on. I said, I look the same way. It's just you ain't seen the vest. But trying to beat that stereotype as well, because they'll think that and be like, oh, man, every biker's bad. Like, we're not. We're not bad at all. Even the 1%ers out there, I've hung with a lot of them. They're not bad at all. They're really not.
Yeah.
I got like one of the people I really got a chance to ride with. Shout out my dog Sale. I'll do some more ride with him. But believe it or not, Sean Paul for Youngbloods, I got a chance to ride with him. People don't know he rides Harleys. I got a chance to ride with him. Oh God, this was 2000 and I want to say 3 or 4. So I was doing the tour and he had a couple of bikes go with them on the tour. And I said, yeah, I ride. He was like, you ride? I said, yeah. And we was out in LA, and being the people that he was a part of, which I'm not gonna name on here, and people that he hung out with, a lot of them knew him heavy, and a couple of them knew me already because of folks in Atlanta. And he was one of the people that really showed me something different out there, because at that time I was in the sport bike game, and he showed me the Harley game. And shout out to Big Punchy in LA. He was one of the ones that made me want to go get one. And I was like, yo, I want to get a Harley. I want to do this. I want to do that. But let me get this sports bike out of me first before I go do it. I still love my sport bikes. Yeah, riding today on IG. Yeah, he was out here riding today on IG. Shout out to Sean Paul from Youngbloods. Real cool dude, him and J-Bo. And a lot of people don't know that he really rides. He used to ride all through Atlanta. I used to live not too far from him. I used to see him a lot.
That's crazy, man. That's real crazy, man. And look, on the whole car thing, man, I look at cars sometimes. Well, I'll just say this is my opinion, right? I want to get your opinion on this. So I buy a lot of sneakers, right? And I'll see people who they'll say, "Oh, I'm the sneaker king." So that and they're a multimillionaire. I'm like, that's different. Okay, so you're a multi-millionaire, right? And you could just go buy you could do like Thanos and buy $1 million worth of shoes. My
Mm-hmm.
collection is different than your collection, or the working man's collection is different than the millionaire's collection, because they can just go buy a million pair of shoes, no matter what the price is.
Mm-hmm.
The average person, regular working person, has done all kind of stuff to get the shoes, has stood in lines, has gotten hookups, and when you turn around, like, man, I got a dope collection. I kind of look at the cars the same way. The average everyday working person that literally had to save up money to get the engine done, and they rode around for a year with primer on the body of the car. Then they
Yeah.
finally got it painted. Then they turn around, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years later, and they got a car collection. What are your thoughts on that in the car game? Is it the same if millionaire XYZ just goes and buys, 10 G bodies and caddies and all this stuff, and they come to the show, versus folk that been grinding 2, 3, 4, 10 years, and they got a collection? Is there a difference?
I think it's an avenue for both, and I think it is a little different. I was once told this, and I was told this by OG, a real OG in the game. I ain't gonna name his name, but he was one of those that had a collection of cars. I painted a lot of his cars for him for his fleet. He had 20-something old schools, and I painted, I think, maybe 14, 15 of them at the time. For those who know, I paint cars too. And for him, it was more like this. He started from the ground up, I mean, all the way from the gut, until he met me, and I gave him a good deal painting a lot of his cars. When you have somebody who has a lot of money and just go drop of a hat, go spend an average dunk fixed up, you may spend 20, 30K. And they can go drop it on that, get it, and it's good to go. It's ready to go. Versus somebody who bought it, took time to build it, and documented their build. Not just built it, but documented their build, and you're watching that process. I've learned this, and for me, I respect both, but this is what I learned from talking to people. They respect the person more who took the time to do that build than went and bought it already built. Nothing wrong with buying already built, because I've done that too. I've bought cars that I've seen. Oh, I like this. Hey, you selling it? Oh, how much you want for it? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and copy from you. And majority of times I do that because I know I'm going to take care of it and keep it in the game, versus somebody's going to buy it and tear it up and it's going to look nothing like what it's going to look like. So what I've noticed, especially with YouTube, a lot of people love to see that grind because it reminds them of them. The average person out here doesn't have that kind of money. Just throw down on the car. They're starting from all the way from the beginning, and as they start from the beginning, or they're wanting to start, or basically they want to start from the beginning. I just had a conversation with somebody a few weeks ago. They want to start from the beginning. As they're starting from the beginning, they're like, okay, I got to go find a car. And then they'll look on YouTube to get ideas of what they want to find if they don't know what they want, or even if they do know what they want. They'll watch somebody like, I hate to throw out names out there, but he's my dog. They watch somebody 7 Chevy boy. They watch him go get a car. He got his box and took time, or he got his OBS, which is the Chevy truck, and took his time to grind the build. And they were like, yo, I like what he did with this. Yo, what is that he got? So I can say, okay, it costs this much. Let me save up this. Let me see if I can do the work myself. Let me find somebody to do it. Or my favorite, they're putting people out there like, hey, this is who did my work. Go holler at them. And they're like, oh, okay, well, let me go see what they charge for me to go get this done, or what do they think about me doing this? Or even if they can't get to them, like, hey, I can't get to that person, they're too far, but they use these products. Maybe they know somebody else around here that can do it, or I can go to this person, that person's go get it done. So a lot of people that are starting from the bottom, not to say I'm rich, but I ain't broke either, but to say people that are starting from, the bottom of getting something, they're watching other people, what they're doing. They're not trying to copy, but they're like, hey, I want to start this way, start that way. Okay, this person started just like I'm trying to start. I can relate to them more.
Yeah.
Versus somebody that, okay, yeah, dang, they went to Barrett Jackson and just bought this car over here and it's already done up, or they went to this shop. Nothing wrong with that, but the average person sometimes can't relate to that. They're like, I don't have that kind of bag like that. I don't have that kind of money, but hey, I bought this car for $2,500. I bought this box Chevy for $25. Well, box Chevys don't cost that now, but back in the day, you get a box Chevy $500-$600, or one decently fixed for $2,500. And hey, I'm gonna put this into it, but let me watch this person. Let me watch that person. Let me see what this person doing. Or shout out to my dog Dunk Planet. He always go around doing these dunk raids, showing, hey, this person does this, Sudi does this, Jit does this person does this person does that. Well, dang, maybe I can save my money. Or for instance, watching Dunk Master and watching him in his early stages of him building a lot of those cars, like, wow, maybe I can go to this person. And shout out to my dog Stitch by Slick. Wow, Stitch by Slick is doing these dash swaps, he's doing this. Okay, let me save up my money to get to this, to get to that. Or let me find somebody local that could do something like that if I can't get it to that. And people just want to relate. That's all this. People just want to be able to relate to people out here doing it. That's it. If they can relate to people out here really doing it, doing the small things versus the big things, because they're like, oh man, I ain't got that kind of money. And sometimes it kind of deters somebody from doing it. It kind of like their motivation goes down. But looking at somebody that, started from the ground up, oh, they bought this car, they did this, like something my dude, Malibu Kid, which probably a lot of people don't probably know him. I've watched him get cars and build them and do stuff. Yeah, he had the money to put into them, but he lets you know it's obtainable to do. And that's all people want to know, that, hey, if I get this, or if I get this, if I can't get the Hellcat, but I get the RT, can I get it to look like this? I can't save up to get this, but I'm going to get this right now. You working with your budget and you watch somebody else with the same budget to do what you want to do. That's what people want. They want the relatable, period. And I started the Garage Chronicles on my thing, to show you, Garage Tutorial, showing you like, look, you can do this. You can get this and do that. You can do this without spending a lot of money. There's ways to go around it. And I've come across a lot of people that tell me, appreciate you telling me this and this. It saved me a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, not everybody got enough money to go buy this Lambo or this Ferrari over here when they got the money over here to buy this over here, whether it's Camaro or this or that. And they say, hey, how can I fix this up? How can I do this? And that's why I have a lot of people when they come on a podcast talk about mods they did, talk about what all they can do to their vehicle, because it might be somebody out here either got the same vehicle or can say, I can afford that. If I get that, what all can I do to it? And that's all it is. This being relatable, period. Just like you just put up the relatable. That's all it is. And a lot of people don't know that's the biggest thing with YouTube. If I'm watching somebody and I'm relatable to them and they give me motivation, inspiration to go and move ahead and get further and take the leap of faith, then that's who I'm going to gravitate toward. I'm going to watch them. I'm going to subscribe to them. I'm going to watch their videos. I'm going to support them. For me, I support everybody. I support everybody, whether they're big, small. If you're doing something great, like I literally just had my girl Street Grams on. I know she's on here. HTX Street Grams, shout out to her. She's new to the scene, but she has an eye for photography. I like what she's doing.
Right.
And I say, like what she's doing, I'm going to bring her on to do this and do that, especially when I do this tour. When I get down to Houston, she's going to do all my pictures, all my videos. I'm going to put my whole phone down. I'm going to put my DSLR down. I'm not filming that. She's going to film everything because I like what she does. But as you see, that's putting somebody else on to do something great. And then now people get to see what she does outside of Houston, because I'm learning my footage is everywhere now. I have people watching me in Denmark and Holland and everywhere else. Neil, I like what you're doing. They message me every week. Like, I can't catch it live because of the time, but I'm watching the replays.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. And your personal life and your work professional life has taken you around the world, and it's almost like full circle, man. Now you're doing what you're doing on YouTube, and you literally have people around the world that are tapping into what you're doing, man. And a lot of the people that you've had on your show, you've introduced them to thousands of people, including myself. And I end up following those same people and finding something dope or cool on why I follow them. And it's funny how literally, and I wish you can tell me the name of the guy you just had on with the G body. What was his name?
Oh, that's my dog, the real Mr. G body.
Okay, so with that being said, nothing happens by accident. Of course, I don't know your calendar of guests that you're gonna have on, right? I don't know until you publicly post it.
And it's a reason why I do that, so people don't just sit and wait for that certain person.
Right.
When I put it out, there that morning of, hey, this is coming on. Come on and check them out. Because I don't want anybody to stereotype anybody, be like, oh, I'll wait till they have this on. Oh, no, you got this on, I'll wait. No, check out everybody, because there may be something you like about this person and what they're doing.
Yeah, and I like that, man, because when you had Mr. G Body on there, literally the same week, I think it was last week, my car, my I8, BMW I8 been in the shop, man, for about 2 weeks, right? So I started thinking, like, Eric, what are some alternative situations to, would you sell the IA? Would you trade it in? Would you keep it and bring on an additional car? And literally, man, I started saying, you know what? I'm gonna do some more research, man, on like 84 to 88 Monte Carlo. And then lo and behold, my favorite podcast has Mr. G Body on as a guest. I don't have very far to go to do research. You've already done it for me. So I want to say thank you, man, because I really have been on my G-Body grind. I've been looking for a G-Body. I've been on Facebook. I've been reaching out to folk, inboxing them, saying, hey, man, if you see something in your area. But my thing is with all the things that I do with YouTube and my family and some other things that I'm doing, man, I'm not going to be able to build it from scratch. I'm not going to be able to go get the flatbed and go pick it up and build it piece by piece as much as I would like to. I'm looking
I know where you can get one that's already basically done. I know people that know people. All I got to do is just put out the word, and they'll hit you up with somebody. Shout out to my dog, Dunk Ride or Die, Dunk Plan. All I got to do is hit some of them folks up because they're around more of that than I am. And they'll be like, yo, we know somebody got this for sale. We know somebody got that for sale.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I literally just posted one up that was in Chicago, dude. Monte Carlo SS, everything worked, all frame done, $15K.
Bro, I was just, bro, you just,
I literally just posted that up.
Bro, I gotta check that out, man. And I was just, my boy Car Show Rail would tell you, my brother Rail would tell you, and some of the folk that's been listening to me rant and rave about some of the issues I've been having with I8, and it's being fixed or whatever. I would add the car, or I would even sell my I8 right now, get me a G-Body, and I'm thinking about doing that and ordering a Corvette. It's gonna take about a year for the Corvette if you get on the list.
Yeah.
I said, okay, so I'll stack up bread for a whole year, ride the G-Body, but so I need one already ready. I'm not gonna be able to get one that I gotta get ready because I need to be I need to drive it as soon as I buy it. And that number 15 and under is a middle ground. I don't need a $30,000 G-Body that's gonna go win car shows and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? 30,000.
No, you just want something decent, already done up with rims on everything. And that one that I talked about, 15K, already had forges on it, set of 24s, set up to drive anywhere, AC work. I was this close to buying it. And I said, no, I don't need no more cars. I already got enough. I was so close. I was like, because the more I looked at it.
Don't get too close. Let me take a look at it. Look out for your boy right
quick. No, you can get it. I'll put you on with it. You can get it. I literally just dropped the footage of it yesterday. It was a whole documentary of this whole place, and the dude was at the place. I basically did a whole mini documentary put together. It's like 40 minutes long. And I looked at the car inside and out. I mean, everything's been touched. The frame's been powder coated. The car is immaculate. He was like, 15K moves it. He said, because I got something else I'm working on. And I said, dude, because of me seeing the car and knowing what's in it, and I didn't care about the rims. I just saw what I saw and the craftsmanship done to it. And he was like, I got some new carpet to go in. And he said, this carpet's fine, but I even switch out, put the new carpet in for you, brand new in the box, put it out and put it in. I'm like, yo, 15. Oh, okay. And I know some people are like, 15K, that's a lot. When you start putting money into these cars, the game is stressful with that because you'll sit there and pinpoint, he already had the brakes done. Yeah, why with brakes on it? He had everything done. By the time you sit there and start making a list and start, especially if you're not doing the work yourself, right? You start making a list, and next thing you know, you're like, dang, and this ain't even buying the car. Let's say you already had the car. And you start making a list to put stuff in it that I saw that was in it, and I'm calculating in my head, it was over 15K worth of stuff done to it. And it ran smooth, had remote, two-way remote start, had a low jack on it already. I'm like, yo, wow. Already the forges already on, brand new forges, brand new tires. He said these tires and rims that got 200 miles on. Still had the sticker on. I was like, dang. I was like, exhaust. I got it all up underneath. Look, exhaust, brand new exhaust done. All the boat shit. I was like, wow, I know what you asking for. And he was like, look, I'm trying to move it fast. I'm like 15K, that's gonna move this car. I said, it's gonna move this car fast. So, and that's not the only one. I come across a lot of them like that. Whether it's G bodies, dunks. Like shout out Dunk Ride or Die. He posted a dunk a few weeks ago that I literally had to stop myself because I'm trying to do something else, trying to do this investment thing I'm trying to do. I was like even closer buying that dunk. Way closer buying that dunk because it was already done up, and I said, dang, it's already done up. All I got to do to it is just drive it. And then maybe later on, LS swap if I wanted to, but I just drove, and they wanted 22K or best offers. And I said, damn, I got that sitting right where I need it, and I can just go grab it and just go down there and go get that car. And the crazy thing, the car was not too far from you. And I was like, dang, I can just go ahead and get it, pay for shipping, it'll be here. And then I had to snap out like, no, New York, you know what you're trying to do. You already do this big investment that's going to bring a bigger return. That's going to beat it.
Bro,
That's why I didn't buy that car.
that's crazy, man. It's amazing how life works, man. How literally I hadn't thought about a G body since I was a young kid, watching them fly up and down the street, racing Mustangs and all of that, man. Back in the early '80s as a young buck, and now that I actually really feel like I want one,
Mm-hmm.
like, man, God is putting people in your path that's already got connects, man. It's like I don't even have to beat myself up to try to find one. You know, it's already in my path, man. So I want to say thank you, man. First of all, thank you for doing the show. Thank you for being a great networker for hopefully this car situation and for many other people that you connected me to, that you connected them to me, and you connected other people to each other, and you don't ask for a thing, man. So I want to just say thank you for just being a great connector right here on YouTube, brother.
I appreciate it. And that's the thing. I wanted people to connect and people to see people and get to know people, whether you big or small, because at the end of the day, we're all putting on our pants the same way. And that's how I am. I don't care if you're big or small. It's like I see people and I see them doing great things. I congratulate. I'll walk to them and be like, yo, I like what you did with this. This you? I like what you did with this and this and this. And people kind of just looked at me. It was years ago when this was unheard of. People just looked like, this dude just congratulated me for this. And, okay, you like what he see? Okay. I was like, yeah, ain't no hate in my system. Ain't no hate in my blood. I'm just going to basically say what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. I tell you, man, anytime we have folk on here, man, we be talking and talking. I look up, man, and doggone Instagram got the doggone 1 hour thing. I said, we might
Yeah.
start doing these on YouTube to where I can go past an hour because they'll cut your live off at an hour. But I want to do something just for you, and I don't do this no other time, never done this before. So give me about 30 seconds to do this. This is a shout out to New York and your city. This is something that you always do. You put pictures up and videos up, and I want your comments because now you're the guest. I'm playing New York. Give me your comments.
Oh,
and
man.
You know who that, and do you know who it is?
I'm looking. I see the shoes. I'm looking at. I can't
give you a clue. NFL. Who
That
dressed
cannot
like
be Cam.
Who?
That cannot be Cam Newton.
You already got it.
Are you serious? That's Cam Newton?
That's Cam Newton today, going to work for the New England Patriots.
And I only saw part of the game today because I was busy editing. Wow.
Yeah, that's Cam, man. And so what you give my man Cam outfit for today, man?
You know what? I wish I had my soundboard on. Cam is in a whole nother lane of his own. And the reason why I can't really talk too bad about Cam, I lived in Charlotte for a little while, and I met somebody that basically was working for this company. And they told me, they said, yeah, people laugh at Cam, but Cam Newton is a marketing genius. He said, these companies come to him to support these clothes, and he's put his tag on it. He's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say about this, though, I think he was coming to show out because you got to remember, this is the first game with him showing, especially after how the Panthers did him dirty, sending him just a text. Yes, I said it. Sending him a text, let him know he was cut instead of just calling him as much as he put on the line. Like, he put a lot on the line for that team.
Right.
He got him to the Super Bowl. He got him. Man, he was getting him to a lot of places. But I will say this, Cam, only you could pull that off because I can't pull that one off. He's dressed like the Congo Daddies. Like, a lot of people don't even know who the Congo Daddies are. You need to look that up. Over in Africa, that's how boys they are. They were dressed up, and it's called the Congo Daddies. They did a whole documentary on it. I remember seeing that a few years ago, and he's dressed like it. He's literally dressed like it right now.
For sure, man. On that note, y'all check out Congo Daddy, man. But more importantly, man, we need you guys to check out New York in your city, man. I got 30 seconds on my timer, man, so I'm going to have to hit end this live so I don't lose it. New York, thank you for coming by. Myself, Car Show Real, man, we appreciate you, man. God bless you, brother.
Thank everybody for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Podcast tomorrow, y'all.
Yeah, make sure y'all check out New York in your city. Make sure y'all follow him on IG and on YouTube, man. New York in your city.
Definitely.